Hello, it's Mr. Obi. So, using what we've looked at so far, let's now tackle this really big question. Are champions born or are they made? Let's consider the case of Cristiano Ronaldo. So, are champions born or are they made? Well, when we see experts like Ronaldo, we think we could never do that. We think they must have been born talented. But the reality that we're understanding now is the painfully slow inch-by-inch progress that people like Ronaldo, people like Tiger Woods, people like Amadeus Mozart, they have clocked up hours and hours of practice that nobody ever sees. That's why they're as good as they are. And that's called the iceberg illusion. It's the hidden effort under the surface. Not many people know that Tiger Woods' dad is an ex-Green Beret who was convinced of the powers of hard work and purposeful practice. And he got Tiger Woods from a very early age practicing golf every day, but he made it seem interesting and enjoyable, and Tiger Woods liked to practice, and therefore he clocked up 10,000 hours worth of practice. That's what the experts say it takes for you to become a world champion. Look at Gareth Bale. He says, I once went to training 2 hours earlier to practice penalties, but Cristiano Ronaldo was already there practicing penalties. David Beckham, exactly the same. Anyone who's the top of their sport, it's exactly the same in painting or mathematics or whatever it is. This is the iceberg illusion. This is what people see. That we see Ronaldo and people like that. This is the finished product. That's all we see. But what we haven't saw is down at depth all the practice that's gone on behind closed doors, the risks that these people have had to take, the focus, the goals that they've set for themselves, the persistence, keep going, the failure they've had to endure, the massive action they've had to take, the sacrifices they've made to develop the habits, all of that hard work. That's what's really happening to make someone into an expert. So champions are made when no one is watching, not born. What that means is all the countless hours of practice behind closed doors when it's just them by themselves, or them with a parent or a coach, not on the telly. Champions are made by practice, practice, practice. Watch Ronaldinho clocking up hours of practice as a kid.
And now something I found to remind you how it should be.
When you are a kid, it's easy. You are not afraid to try, to dare.
You do it just because you like it. So my advice to you is never grow up, my friends.
While practicing, successful people will fail over and over again, but they don't fear failure because they use their failures to learn better strategies for creating better success. That's the growth mindset, learning from your mistakes. Watch Michael Jordan.
I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed.
Now, when that advert first came out for Nike, it bamboozled people. Because people look at Michael Jordan and say, he's a basketball god, he can't make mistakes, he never makes mistakes. Nobody knows Michael Jordan better than Michael Jordan. And he knows the painfully slow, inch-by-inch progress that he's made, all the mistakes that he's made over the years and how he's learned from them. So successful people, they make mistakes, but they learn from their mistakes. What else will I start to notice about myself once I choose to have a growth mindset? Well, you'll develop grit.
This is a story about grit and why it might just be the key to your success. So what the heck is grit? Well, officially it's the combination of persistence and resilience. Big words, huh? Persistence means you keep going even when the going gets tough, and you stay focused on the task without getting distracted. Resilience is toughness. When you get knocked down, you bounce back up and try again. When you have both of these qualities, we call that grit. And once you have grit, you can learn anything. But why is grit so important to learning? Because when things are easy and you're coasting along, it's nice. It might even be fun for a while, but you're not learning. Learning comes from struggle, from trying and failing, then learning from your mistakes. Remember when you first learned to ride a bike? Or swim? Or play an instrument? Or do long division? It seems impossible at first, and if you gave up after the first try, it would be. But you're persistent. You keep trying. You start to get the hang of it. You practice. You work at it a little bit at a time, and eventually it starts to get easier for you. You learn from your mistakes, and the more you work, the easier it gets. But remember, learning is hard work. That's why you need grit. Because the key to success in school and life is how you react when things don't go your way. So the next time you're struggling with something in your life, or in your science book, just remember, it's part of learning. And with a little hard work and a lot of grit, you can do things that once seemed impossible.
By developing grit, you won't give up. When you can't do something straight away, you'll become persistent. You'll develop emotional resilience, which is an emotional toughness, the ability to master your feelings, because you know that whenever you can't do something, you use the power of yet. I can't do something yet. I'll get up, I'll try it again, I will eventually be able to do this. Which successful people do you know that have a growth mindset? Well, successful people have become successful by learning from the mistakes. All successful people have a growth mindset, whether they know about it or not, because they've made mistakes and they've learned from them. If you've never made a mistake, then you've never lived. Successful people make more mistakes than anybody else, but they learn from the mistakes, and that is what makes them successful. See if you can guess which growth-minded person this is.
Do you know this guy? Need some hints? As a kid, he struggled with school. He dropped out of college after only 6 months, and for money, would return Coke bottles for 5-cent refunds. Okay, one more. He helped found a company called Apple. You see, Steve Jobs wasn't born rich or a genius, but he did have a growth mindset. Simply put, The growth mindset means that with effort, you can train your brain to get smarter. That's right. Scientists have learned that the human brain acts a lot like a muscle, and using your brain can actually cause it to grow and even get heavier. You see, when you learn new things, tiny connections in the brain multiply and get stronger. The more you challenge your mind to learn, the more brain cells you grow, leading to a stronger, smarter brain. As a result, things that once seemed hard actually become easier. People with a growth mindset know that it takes effort to train your brain. Start by exploring new information. Learning something new can be scary, and you might get frustrated, but it's only because you haven't yet made the connections your brain needs. It's up to you to take charge. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Just like exercising your body, repeating an action builds strength. Read, write, or say something important at least 5 to 10 times to make it stick. Most importantly, don't give up. When something is hard, that's when you need more effort, not less, to build those connections in the brain. Say, here's one more. Do you know this person? Need a hint? The growth mindset, they can train their brain to become stronger and smarter.
So, now that you know how the brain works, the only question you've got to ask yourself is, how bad do you want success? Well, unfortunately, you'll have to find out how bad do you want success in the 5th and final part of the Growth Mindset series.